What's going on, everybody? Hoping y'all hear me good. Can y'all hear me good? We're finna go ahead and get ready to get started. I know I'm a couple minutes behind, but got everything ready for you. We're gonna get into this show and we're gonna have us a good time. And I see we got some people in here. We got Michael Rossi, Sin City Titan, Hakeem up in here. And I know more of you are gonna start piling in just a bit. And so y'all make sure y'all share this show out and let everybody know where they need to come on into so that they can join the show as well. And let's get ready to get this party started. Titans in Truth, now.
Tighten up! Let's get tightened up! Tightened up! I've been scoping from the sideline, waiting for the right time to send the freshest team to scrimmage, so I'm busting y'all. Welcome to Another We got this here. Don't worry about it. We got this here. We just said it's so. Out here loudly. Don't worry about it. See, we got this here. It's a brand new dance and it's about to go live. Titan Nashville, rep the 615. First you tighten two steps, step to the right. Then you tighten two steps to the left. Blue jerseys everywhere. Game face, yeah, we got it on. Sticking out our chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Count that. It's about to get rough. Here come the train, y'all. Tennessee, tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Sticking out my chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Sticking out my chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Tighten two steps to the right. Then you tighten two steps to the left. Sticking out my chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Sticking out my chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Third down, come around, we bout to shut down. We bout to
Good evening, Titan Nation, and everybody coming on in here. Welcome into Titans in Truth. I'm your man, Chris, a.k.a. Blue Enforcer, and we are going to have a great episode on this evening. I see we got Michael Rossi, Sin City Titan, Hakeem is in here. So, repping everybody, I know more of you are going to start to pile on in as this show gets started. We got a loaded show tonight. We're definitely going to talk. We're going to talk some tight ends, and then we're going to do my last 7-round Titan mock draft before the NFL draft next week. And we got a lot coming up next week as far as the draft is concerned. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And wait a minute, my face isn't showing. I'm like, there we go. I'm like, why my face not showing? There it is. I'm like, I kind of want to see my face a little bit and everything and not have the graphic in front and you get to see me. So now y'all finally get to see me. There it is right there. So let's start this show off with a bang. Some NFL news that happened just today. The league did pass the eligible jersey number rule that the Kansas City Chiefs proposed. So now you got offensive players like running backs, fullbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, linebackers, defensive backs. A lot of them can wear numbers like unusual numbers. So, for example, if Derrick Henry wants to wear number 2, he can do that now. If A.J. Brown wants to wear number 1, he can do that now if he wants to. So that's something that can happen right there. If Kevin Byard wants to wear number 3, he can do that if he wants. So that's what's passed. And this is basically the rule. If I could pull it up, I believe that quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, they can wear numbers between 1 and 49 and 80 and 89, I want to say is the numbers. And then defensive backs can wear between 1 and 49. Linebackers could wear between 1 and 59. And then offensive linemen can only wear between 50 and 79. And then defensive linemen can wear between 50 and 79 and then 90 to 99. But that is the new rule. Don't have 100% accuracy on that, but that was from the NFL Network when they brought out that the rule had been passed by the NFL owners. So now we could be getting some different jersey numbers coming out. Like I said earlier, if Derrick Henry wants to just wear number 2, done. AJ Brown want to wear number 1, done. So it's going to make for some very interesting things that could happen. So I kind of like it. It's going to be different. It's going to be kind of fun. What's up, King Isaac? Titans Torch, what's going on? What number am I wearing this year? Well, if it was up to me, I'd be wearing number 4. That would be me. Well, 4, or I would try to see if I could buy 17 from Tannehill. So maybe that's something that I would try to do. What's up, Lee? What's going on? And I'm excited about, I look forward to seeing what they're going to come up with as far as jersey numbers and who's going to wear what. That's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. So that's something that's really, really cool on that. In some other news, and I also discussed this yesterday. I discussed this on this morning on the Truth League Report. And make sure y'all go check that out. The Truth League Report, new episode. I just put that out this morning. So go check that out. And make sure you tell any of your friends who are not football, who are not Titan fans, but who are NFL fans, because I'm trying to branch out and put together more content for other teams as well, so I can branch out and explore with other teams. So that's something that I'm actually trying to do. That's something that I'm trying to work on. So make sure y'all spread the word out to the other teams, to the fans of other teams, and then that way they can see the Truth League Report. And I unveiled a new 1-round mock draft on that episode and everything. So definitely make sure y'all check that out and spread the word about that. But former Titan defensive lineman Daquan Jones did sign a 1-year deal with the Carolina Panthers yesterday. He went and visited, and they said they pretty much he was going to sign, and he has. So now Daquan Jones is gone. And now because of that, well, the Titans looked like they were not going to get a compensatory pick. Now they are in line to get at least a 4th-round compensatory pick in next year's draft with Daquan Jones signing. And now I'm thinking of someone else who is a free agent. If they sign elsewhere, then we may be able to move up to a 3rd-round selection. So that depends on anybody else that is a free agent that ends up getting signed. Like, for example, a Will Compton. If Will Compton gets signed by somebody else, then we may be able to get another compensatory pick or a higher one. So we're definitely going to see how that goes in that realm. But I like the fact that we're at least in line for a compensatory pick. I'm glad to hear that. Herm, what's up with you? How's it going? Let's see. Lee says AJ is staying at 11 after a tweet to Warren Moon saying he didn't deserve to wear the number 1. You know what? I did not think about that, and that is a good point. So AJ is staying at 11. I like that. I like that, paying respect to Warren Moon. I can respect that totally when it comes to that. So no 1, and we already know nobody's going to wear. Obviously, nobody's probably going to wear 1. Nobody's going to wear 9, and nobody's going to wear 27 because 9 and 27 have been retired. Definitely. So we're going to see how some of these other numbers get done. But Daquan Jones getting signed, it's a good pickup for Carolina. They did need some help on the defensive line to go along with Derek Brown on the defensive line. And, of course, Kawan Short no longer on the team. So that's a good pickup. And I'm cheering for Daquan Jones to be successful with that. But now that that is out, now that we've gotten some of that out of the way, let's get to what we really came here to talk about, and that is tight ends. And as y'all saw on the graphic, and I'm gonna put it up for you again, we're talking tight ends. And obviously got some pictures of a few tight ends on the board that we're going to talk about, and we're going to get right smack dab into it right there. Tight end is definitely a need. And Herm, that's Christian Barmore that you're talking about. Definitely am a fan of his. Definitely wouldn't mind if he's on the board for the Titans and we take him. Diego, what's going on? Welcome in. Right now, we are slated to get a pick. We are slated to get a 4th round selection. So we're definitely going to see what they do with that. But let's get started with the tight ends. Tight end is definitely a position of need with Jonnu Smith gone to the New England Patriots, signed that big contract, getting paid $12.5 million a year now with the Patriots. Of course, they do bring back Anthony Ferguson and Jeff Swain. Now, Michael Pruitt is still not re-signed yet. So that's why tight end is definitely a need and definitely somebody that definitely a position we need to address. Now, obviously, on this list of tight ends, I am not including Kyle Pitts. We all know Kyle Pitts is the number 1 tight end in this class, and to me, is the best non-quarterback in this class, in my honest opinion. So we know Kyle Pitts ain't going to be there for us unless we just trade up and give up the farm to go get him. I don't think that's going to happen. The next wide receiver that looks like it's slated to be drafted is Pat Freiermuth. Now, I did see a dueling draft on Titans Wire where he was available in the 2nd round. I think they traded back a few picks to 59 and got Pat Freiermuth at tight end. So, obviously a very good athlete, can catch the ball, can block on the inside, maybe not extremely flashy, but is a definite upgrade over anything we have as a tight end as a tight end. So if he's there in the 2nd round, I can see it happening, but I know a lot of mock experts have Pat Freiermuth going off pretty early in the 2nd round, could sneak into the back end of round 1, possibly. So we'll have to watch out for that. That's why he's not on the list right now. But let us start with my number 1 tight end that I'm looking at, and that is Brevin Jordan out of Miami. He had 38 catches, 576 yards, 7 touchdowns. Got to watch a little tape of him, especially against Florida State and also against Clemson. This guy is an athlete, a big-time athlete. I really like him, has some great hands for catching the football, and he can get away from people and get some yak. I mean, he caught some balls and took them to the house. So I definitely like this guy. Now, on the other side, I don't know if he fits all schemes because he's not a straight up inline type of tight end. You're not going to see him lined up on the line all the time. If you look at the Miami film, he lines up a lot in the slot. He lines up wide or in the slot or something like that. And Miami tries to just get the ball out to him either in the screen or an out route or across the middle. That's what they like to do. So we'll have to see if he does fit the scheme and can be more of an inline blocker, which does need work, but he is willing to block. But there are some times where he made a mistake on a block. And I want to say there might have been a game against North Carolina where the linebacker came from the outside. He did not pick him up. He tried to pick him up late, and it was too late, and De'Aaron King got sacked for a huge loss on that. So he definitely needs some work, and he's quick, but not extremely fast. But he can get catches. He can get catches in volume, and that is something that we could definitely use. I mean, his athleticism, he could be the closest thing to Jonnu Smith without having Jonnu Smith. So that is definitely a big time pickup if we did pick him up. I've seen some mock drafts where he's mocked in the second round, some mocks where he's in the third round. So if he's there in the third round, I wouldn't mind going after him. Definitely with that. Let's see. Joseph said he wasn't pleased when he heard about Daquan Jones signing. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were, but I wasn't expecting him to come back. I think they want to get faster, and they want to be able to get some more rush on the quarterback. Again, let's see. What's up, Diego? Let's see. Lee says, for me, either Hunter Long from Boston College or Brevin from Miami. Let's see. And speaking of which, my number 2 tight end, before we get to Hunter Long, my number 2 tight end is Tommy Tremble. Now, I was thinking about Hunter Long in this situation at number 2, but I looked at some stuff on Tommy Tremble and I came away impressed. 6'4", 247 from Notre Dame. He had 19 catches, 218 yards last year. He had a couple of touchdowns in 2019. But one thing about this cat can block. If nothing else, this boy can block. He is an elite blocker, extremely athletic, and very versatile. And I listened to my guy, Goat House, who was on the first episode of the Truth League Report. And y'all go check that out. Go check out the Truth League Report. And we were talking about this particular player. And he just said recently how Tommy Tremble could be sneaky as a pass catcher, can leak out of the backfield and make catches. He can play in line at tight end. He can also be a fullback. And if the Titans pick him, then they could make Kari Blasingame pretty expendable, if you ask me. And then again, but also at the same time, I wouldn't mind if they did with Tommy Tremble, hey, run some wishbone. Have him and Kari Blasingame in the backfield. You have Derrick Henry. Man, I wouldn't mind that at all. So I definitely like that as a number 2. Now, he didn't get a lot of production as a pass catcher. I think that's more so from Notre Dame and how they were running their offense, not so much him. And, you know, he might have had a drop or two there, not too many. It's not really anything to be super concerned about, but I like Tommy Tremble a whole lot more than I thought I was going to like him. So I'm very interested in seeing where Tommy Tremble lands. If he's there in the third round, I would think that's a slam dunk pick. At least maybe with that second, third round pick, I'll be okay with it if it's a first, third round pick, because I mean, the first 2 picks I wanted to be corner and wide receiver. Then you could go maybe tight end and pass rusher, or tight end and defensive line, something like that. And that's what I'm liking. Let's see. Michael Rossi, what's going on? Diego saying, when should we draft a tight end and what round do you think? I would say round 3 or 4. That's me. That's just my thoughts when it comes to that. That's what I would do, is I would wait until about the 3rd or 4th round to draft a tight end. I would not jump and grab a tight end in the 2nd round. Now, if Pat Freiermuth is there in the 2nd round, maybe I consider it, but I would wait until about the 3rd round to draft a tight end. Michael Ross saying, I really like Pat Freiermuth. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was impressed with him too, but I just think there are other needs that we need to address before we address tight end, in all honesty. My 3rd tight end that I like is the aforementioned Hunter Long from Boston College, 6'5", 253. I would say out of all these tight ends I have on the list, the most productive tight end on this list. He finished last year with 57 catches, 685 yards, 5 touchdowns. Now, Brevin Jordan had 7 touchdowns, but Hunter Long had more catches and more yards. The things I like about him, he has some great hands. He's definitely a pretty decent blocker and can make contested catches because with Boston College, he was their go-to guy on third down. He was the guy they would look for on third down to extend drives. And that's something that he's very good at. Now, the problem with him is not very flashy, and he's not really fast. He doesn't really get a lot of separation, which means he has to catch contested balls. Now, you will hope in that situation he's going up against either a slot corner or maybe a safety or a undersized linebacker that can't keep up with him. That's what you're hoping for with a guy like a Hunter Long. But if he goes up against a linebacker of the same size or a safety that can cover, he might have an issue with that. So that's something that that's what I would think when it comes to Hunter Long. I definitely am impressed with him. I like him. I wouldn't mind if he was a pick as well. So that is something that I would definitely go with. Let's see. Michael Ross said we definitely need a tight end with one of our third round picks. Let's see. Jeremy comes in and says, you said you want wide receiver and corner for the first 2 picks, but what about the right tackle position? Now, right tackle, the tackle class is pretty good, top heavy. But again, it depends on what you're wanting. Now, if you're looking for a guy that can start immediately over Ty Sambrailo or over a Kendall Lamb, then yes, you might want to draft a tackle pretty early. But I wouldn't draft a tackle earlier than the 3rd round, in my honest opinion. I know I'm saying a lot of 3rd round, but that's why I would start with tight end, 3rd round and further back. Tight end, tackle. Maybe 4th round is about as far as I would go with a tackle. Maybe at the very latest, the 4th round is where I draft a tackle. But I would say maybe 2nd or 3rd round, depending on who's there. And you got to get some value for them because if you're going to get a tackle, you got to get a tackle who's going to be able to start, who could beat out Sambrailo and Kendall Lamb. Some guys like a Telvin Jenkins or a Liam Eichenberg or a Jalen Mayfield or a Jackson Carman of Clemson, some of those guys. Now, another guy that I would think about that's a dark horse, Stone Forsythe from Florida, James Hudson from Cincinnati, Deontay Smith from East Carolina. Those are a couple of guys who could be some dark horses that you could get in the 3rd or 4th round who could end up being a starter. So that's what I'm saying. But I would say 3rd or 4th round, and I would probably say that's about as far as I go. Because if you go further than that, you're probably not getting a starter. You're probably getting a depth guy. And, I mean, you could get a depth guy, let Sambrailo start, let that depth guy sit behind him for a minute, and then he can overtake that spot later in the year or the following season. So, there's a little bit of give and take both ways when it comes to that. Let's see. Herman says, how does Pitts compare to Jonnu? Is he better talent-wise? Well, I'm going to say this. I think Kyle Pitts, within the next 2 years, is going to be one of, if not the best tight end in the NFL. I think he'll definitely go no lower than like the top 4 tight ends in the league. He'll be top 5 without a doubt. But I think he could go after his 2nd year, he will be like one of the top 3 tight ends behind Kittle and I am forgetting the other receiver. It's right there. Kelsey and Kittle and Gronkowski. He'll be right there. Jonnu still got to prove he could be up there. But I think Kyle Pitts has already showed he's got the talent. He can run any route. He can outrun some people. Now, we got to see if he can block, but as a receiver, no question, he'll be one of the best, in my opinion. Let's see. Would you take Jensen in the first round? Mike, I need you to tell me who you're talking about because I do not know nobody by the name of Jensen. I'm thinking, are you talking about Telvin Jenkins? Maybe. If that's who you're talking about, let me know. But I'm not exactly sure which person you are referring to. My number 4 tight end I have is Trey McKitty from Georgia, 6'5", 245. I think he has that word upside. Now, y'all know I am not the biggest fans of the words raw and upside. Never been a fan of those words. But this cat does have upside. He's not a cat that's ready to contribute day one. So, I mean, in this situation, like a Jeff Swaim or Anthony Ferguson will be the starter, with him being a potential starter later. I mean, he's athletic, has some solid hands. He has a high motor. He can be mobile. He's willing to be a blocker, but he does need some help in his blocking and things like that. So that's some things he has to definitely work on and to be more effective. I mean, he wasn't really used very much with Georgia this past season. I mean, part of it is, they only played the SEC schedule, but they played like 8 to 10 games, and he only got 6 catches. So he didn't really get used a whole lot. So that's why I'm like, maybe you take a late round flyer on him, but he is not somebody that's going to contribute day one as a starter. And then last but not least, my number 5 tight end is Kenny Yeboah from Ole Miss. I think he has the biggest amount of upside on in this class of tight ends. He's 6'4", 240, had 27 catches, 527 yards, 6 touchdowns. Of course, he also played alongside Elijah Moore, who I know some of y'all are going absolutely nuts about. You want the Titans to draft him. They better not draft him at 22. Now, if they trade back a little bit to say 25, 26, 27, and he's still there on the board, okay, that's fine. But I wouldn't draft Elijah Moore at 22. I'm sorry. I know I am probably an outlier saying that. I know some people will say that's blasphemy, what I'm saying, but I wouldn't pick Elijah Moore at 22. Later in the first round, I'll take my shots with that. I wouldn't mind doing that. But Kenny Yeboah is somebody with a lot of potential. Somebody that, that has the upside to become a starter, has some good hands, a good pass catch. I mean, is a pretty good pass catcher, definitely. But he still needs some work. He is very, very raw, extremely raw. So he still has his work cut out for him as far as being a top-notch tight end. But he's a guy that I think that has the most upside of this tight end class. I definitely wouldn't mind that at all. Let's see. Rossi says Jenkins. Telvin Jenkins is the only offensive lineman that I would take at 22. Like I said when I talked about the offensive lineman, and if y'all haven't seen the video, go back and check out my offensive line video. The dude is flat out nasty. Nashville nasty. Love it. He's the only tackle I would take at 22. Anybody else, I would not do it. I would wait. Only time. That's what I would say on that. Let's see. Y'all said, would you take Bateman at 22? Yeah, I would take Bateman at 22. That would be difficult depending on who else is on the board. I would probably take the top corner before that, but if Farley and Newsome are all off the board, and we'll check this out in the mock draft that I'm doing tonight, then yes, Bateman will be the guy. But we'll definitely have to see. Now, Joseph says on Blaine and Mickey, they talked about Kyle Pitts going to Atlanta. I think that's what's going to happen too. I think he'll go to Atlanta. Arthur Smith loves the tight ends. He'll be there with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones. He's going to be a dangerous man. A dangerous man. So I would definitely be down for that. But those are my top 5 tight ends that I have. Brevin Jordan, Tommy Tremble, Hunter Long, Trey McKitty, and Kenny Yeboah. Now, a dark horse pick is definitely Zach Davidson. I believe he's from Central Missouri. He's a guy that maybe in the 6th or 7th round you could take a flyer on unless he's undrafted. He's a guy that you could probably take a flyer on. He's also been like a punter, so he'll definitely help on special teams and things like that. So Zach Davidson's another. I want to say there was a guy by the name of, I want to say Noah Long. I can't remember his name, from Duke, is another possible tight end that could be picked up. A guy that I have my eye on, he is from Iowa. I cannot remember his name to save my life. I'm going to try to see if I can get his name. Give me a minute. Let's see. Give me just a moment. I'm trying to pull up that guy's name. I know there's a John Bates out of Boise and Colin Granson out of SMU, or some other guys that people talk about. Let's see. Noah Gray is the the tight end from Duke. Sean Byer from Iowa. And also, let's see. I cannot find that other guy from Ohio State. Luke Farkle. That's the other tight end that could be a dark horse, maybe as an undrafted free agent. But those are some other guys that I like as tight ends for this team. Again, I would wait until about the 3rd round or further to do this and go after that guy. And so, but I like Tommy Tremble and Hunter Long a lot. Probably a little bit more than I like Brevin Jordan, to be honest. But I think any of those top 3 guys would be a great pick for the Tennessee Titans with that. Let's see. Mike says Farley is Upload's guy. I like him too. I like Farley too. Injury stuff is concerning, but J-Rob did good with Simmons in the same situation. Agreed. Let's see. Diego says, I am with you. I wouldn't take Elijah Moore at 22, but what are your thoughts on Barmore or Ozariki? Barmore at 22, I wouldn't mind. Ozariki at 22, absolutely not. 2nd round, yes. 1st round, no. I wouldn't do that. Philip Maddox comes and says, I do not love this tight end class at the Pitts, so I'd rather take a tight end between 5th and 7th round like Eubanks from Michigan. I mean, yeah, the tight end class is not great. And really, sorry about that. I heard my garage going up, so I didn't want y'all to have to hear all that. So, yeah, I mean, if we get to a point where Jordan, Tremble, Hunter Long, and Brevin Jordan are gone, then yeah, maybe late for development. And you just go with Swaim and Ferguson. So that's what I would think when it comes to those particular tight ends. But, I mean, I like those top 5. I really like the top 3. And then after that, it's kind of iffy. It's kind of iffy. Now, if you go with a Yeboah or a Trey McKitty in like the 5th, 6th, or 7th round, Okay, I'll be all right with that. But any of those other guys, they're probably going to be undrafted free agents. So that's something I would take a look at. And I mean, you got Swain, you got Ferkser, you got a Jarrett Peetney, who I think could be a surprise guy that ends up on the roster and could do a little something, in my opinion. So that's what I would look at and look towards when it comes to this tight end class. But now that we've done that, let's go a step further in the draft process. Y'all, I'm ready to unleash my next. I'm ready to do another mock draft. And this is going to be Titans mock draft 6.0. And, you know, I know a lot of you are sick of mock drafts right now. I know y'all are tired of it. Y'all are like, look, can we just get to the draft already? I know that's what a lot of y'all are thinking and everything when it comes to that. But at the same time, you know, this is just something to have fun with. And that's the most important thing. We're going to have some fun with it. We don't know how this draft is going to turn out. We have no idea how this draft is going to go. And in this draft, I am not doing any trades. No trades. So that's what I'm going to say about that. Give me just a moment. We're going to get ready to get started. So let's see. Yeah, here we go. We're going to get ready to start this mock draft. Again, these are just the Titan picks that I'm doing. And we'll see where some other players go. And we'll talk about it. So let's start this mock draft and let's get it on. I'm just trying to. All right, there we go. So yeah, let's get this party started, shall we? I hope y'all having a good time with tonight's show. I hope y'all are having fun with me. I'm having a good time too. And here we go. Here's the mock draft. Obviously, we know Lawrence is going 1. Zach Wilson goes 2. Justin Fields at 3. Kyle Pitts at 4. I like that. You got Sewell to the Bengals. Look at this. Jamar Chase to the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle to the Detroit Lions. Rashawn Slater to the Panthers. Trey Lance to the Broncos. Matt Jones still on the board. Surtain at 10. Got J.C. Horn at 11. Caleb Farley at 12. That's pretty high. Mac Jones at 15 to New England. Not surprised. Devontae Smith at 16. I might look at trading up for that, but I don't know. And that is a call about a trade, which, I mean, I thought about it, but I said no trades, and that's exactly what we're going to stick to. No trades going on. Now, if you take a look at this board, look at who we got as a top option. Christian Barmore is there. And again, if you take a look, all of the good corners are gone. All the good corners are gone. Surtain gone, J.C. Horn gone, Farley's gone, and now Greg Newsome is gone. Bateman is now gone too. So now, with those guys gone, I mean, you see who's on the board. You got Barmore on the board. You got JOK. You got Vera Tucker. You got Kwity Paye. You got Elijah Moore. Azeez Ojulari is on the board. I'm trying to see what do you think? I mean, you got Eric Stokes there on the board too. But what I'm thinking of is this. Wide receiver is very deep. Corner is not. And I know I said corner and wide receiver should be my first picks. But since all the corners are gone and wide receiver is very deep, I think the guy I'm going to go with in this pick, let's see. A lot of people saying tough to pass up. Philip wants to see, you said you wanted to see edge and offensive line. So I can show you edge. Top edge rushers right now. Kwity Paye, Azeez Ojulari, Joe Tryon, Jason Oweh. Those are the top edge rushers. And I could look at an Azeez Ojulari. I could see that. Jalen Phillips is gone. Offensive linemen still left. Leatherwood, Cosby, Eichenberg, Redunds, Braden Christensen. Like, again, I think we can get a quality tackle in the second or third round, in my honest opinion. And pass rusher is very deep. You know, they may not be top heavy, but there are some good pass rushers in the middle of the draft. And so in my Titans Truth, in my Truth League report, when I did my mock draft, I had a very tough time not picking Christian Barmore in this situation. I believe I went with Rashad Bateman in that first round, but this time I am not passing up Christian Barmore. That's who I'm going with. So at 22, the Tennessee Titans select Christian Barmore at 22. Michael says, what do I think of Kwity Paye? I don't think he fits. I don't. I don't think he fits at all with what we do. I think he's a better 4-3 defensive end, pretty good run blocker. I mean, pretty good run defender. Just don't think he has it as I just don't think he has it as a pass rusher. And so if you take a look at the bottom again, you take a look early on, some good players go a lot earlier than expected. Caleb Farley goes early. Tevin Jenkins goes early. Devontae Smith goes later than you thought. Excuse me on that. Micah Parsons goes about where I think I have him. Zaven Collins goes a little early. And then, of course, the Bears still Bateman. If Newsome was there at 22, I would have took Greg Newsome, honestly. But he wasn't. I went with the best available player on the board, and that's Christian Barmore. You got Elijah Moore going to the Browns. I know a lot of people will hate that. Tony going to the Saints. Azeez Ojulari going to the Ravens. I know people will not like that in Titan land. Joe Tryon going to the Buccaneers. I mean, embarrassment of riches down there. So that was at least the first round. Now we're going into the second round. You got guys like Jason Oweh going to the Falcons at 35, Terrace Marshall going to the Eagles at 37, Rondell Moore at 38, Stokes at 39. I was hoping he would last. Boogie Basham going 42 to the Giants. Wouldn't mind that. That's a good pick. Man, Amari Rodgers, Kelvin Joseph, De'Ami Brown going off the board. Man, some good players that I like are going off the board. Not liking that at all. So, now the Bengals are calling me, wanting me to trade down into the third round. But again, we're not doing trades. So, you know, we're just trying to see without trades at the moment. But I probably would have took that Bengals trade, the one where, well, I probably would have took the Kansas City trade because I'm still in the second round. Now, you do have some options here. Now, I already went with Christian Barmore at number one. Now there's Aaron Robertson, Greg Rousseau is on the board. Um, Joseph Osai. Now, I'm very shocked that Asante Samuel Jr. is still on the board. Pat Fryermuth is still on the board. Tommy Tremble is still on the board. Now, again, if you take a look at wide receiver, still got some pretty decent players on the board. Now, we don't pick again until 85, and some of these guys might go a little early, but I'm not going to go too fast on that. At corner, you got Aaron Robinson, Asante Samuel, Melifonwu, although I like Asante Samuel. I don't mind Asante Samuel at all. Tight ends still, all of our top 5 tight ends are on the board right now. So there are some value that you could get in this situation. But I'm trying to see where we go from here. And Philip Maddox says, Asante Samuel available. That's the pick. Let's see. Now, a Vandy guy, Michael Rossi comes up with. Now, I would say he goes late, maybe 5th or 6th round. Maybe a team will give him an opportunity. I'm trying to see where do I go with this pick because, I mean, Liam Eichenberg, you can get a lot of value, and we do need a offensive lineman. I think there is still some depth at corner, although I do like Asante Samuel. In this draft, he is the 60th ranked player according to the Draft Network. I think Asante Samuel is better than that 60, and I'm tempted to take him. I am very, very tempted to take him. I'm trying to get all my players up, and obviously this my computer's being a little difficult. All right. Okay, there we go. Now, also, interestingly enough, even though I know it's not a need, Creed Humphrey is there. Could you could draft him and say, see ya to Ben Jones. I could see that happening as well. Now, Gregory Rousseau, I am very tempted to take him, but I think I'm going Asante Samuel Jr. I just think he's the best cornerback left and is a position of need. I really was thinking about Eichenberg. I really was taking a look at Eichenberg on that. And Philip, you're right. A quick look at offensive line. Yeah, I might regret that later because Liam Eichenberg was there. Dylan Redunce was there too. And Eichenberg went off right behind me. Redunce went off right behind me. So that could be that Asante Samuel pick could be a pick I come back and regret. I really could end up regretting that pick. So now, here's a crazy thought. I said I wasn't going to do any trades. I almost thought about taking this one and moving up and picking somebody, but we need all our picks. We need all of our picks. So I'm staying where I'm at. Fryermuth goes in the first part of the 3rd round. That's very interesting right there. Tommy Tremble goes at 70. This is where I think, we got a corner. I think this might be where I go tight end and maybe even offensive line if it's there, or wide receiver if it's there. And a couple of guys I'm liking are still on the board. I don't know how long they'll last, but we're definitely going to find out. I see teams are trying to call me. They want to talk business. They want to trade, but I'm not taking any trades. So now we're at 85. Look at what I have on the board. You got wide receiver Dwayne Estridge. Now he can help in the return game. He can help in the slot as well. Maybe he can even play outside. The dude's got speed. He has elite speed. Amon-Ra St. Brown is another guy that I like. I'm very impressed with him. Let's take a look, like I said, at wide receiver. These are some guys you're looking at. You got Atwell, Darby, Seth Williams. I like these picks. I like those type of guys. At tight end, Hunter Long is still there. Yaboa is still there. If Hunter Long is there at 100, I think I take him. I might not take him right now. At offensive line, now you're kind of starting to get a little bit out there as far as who you go with. So I'm seeing, I think there's only one option that I'm going to go with. What's up, Steve? What's going on? Welcome in. But I think this is an easy choice for me, in all honesty. This is a very, very easy choice for me to make. And I'm not even going to waste time. Even though I am a huge fan of Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm taking the best wide receiver that's on the board, Dwayne Estridge. His speed, I love his speed. He can outrun folks. He can run some routes. He can get better with it. I think he's more of a slot guy, but the guy got speed. Absolutely. Yeah. Again, no trades. Wait until 100. We're going to see what's there at 100 that we could go get. Now, I see an offensive lineman that is sitting there. I don't know how long he'll stay. He might go right before me. See, Hunter Long went at 94 to the Kansas City Chiefs. And so now we're up. Need an offensive lineman? I'm going with the best one left on the board, Stone Forsythe of Florida. So now we drafted a defensive lineman in Baltimore. We went corner with Asante Samuel in round 2. Round 3, that's where we went and got. Round 3, we got a wide receiver, and now we got our offensive lineman. So far we went O-line. We went O-line, D-line. We went O-line, D-line, wide receiver, corner. And so still, I got to find me a tight end, and I probably need to look at a pass rusher at this point. What's up, Daryl? Welcome in. Let's see. Steve Cross says, like, Chiefs are going to take Hunter Long in reality. I mean, maybe some depth behind Travis Kelce. We'll see. Kelce ain't getting no younger. Michael Ross said, I like Estridge. Dude's the baller. He's a baller, and he's fast. He's fast. Extremely fast. Now, I thought about Aleem McNeil or Tyler Shelvin in the middle, but now I think this is where I might look at getting my pass rusher or something like that, because now I am at 126. There's some pass rushers on the board. Y'all were just talking about a particular local guy, and you know, you got Cam Sample sitting there. Let's see. Tight end wise, like I said, tight end wise, now you're looking at probably somebody who could develop later. You're not looking at a day one contributor. And this is just how the board fell. This is how the board fell. And see, you got Deo Adebinyangbo from Vanderbilt. You got Patrick Jones right there. I'm trying to decide between one of those two guys, maybe as the pick. Offensive line, I've already taken care of the interior of the offensive line. Um, that's interior offensive line. We really won't be looking that route. Let's see. Obviously, we won't be looking at quarterback. I think that'll be um, undrafted free agent. But right now, best player on the board is either a pass rusher. There are some linebackers I know that were sitting before. But I'm looking at edge. I'm looking straight up at edge, and I honestly think I like Patrick Jones, but I think I'm gonna give the local kid a shot. I'm gonna go with Deo Adeyingbo from Vanderbilt in the 4th round. I think I'm gonna go local kid. I'm trying to stay with best player available in that position. Brevin Jordan, Daryl, yes, Brevin Jordan is gone. He is gone. We're in the 4th round of this draft right now. Finna head into the 5th round right now. And I thank y'all for sticking with me on this. I'm liking, I mean, yeah, the board's been a little crazy, but I think I've gotten some good value for the picks that I have. I honestly have. I think I've gotten some very good value with the picks that I have. At 22, I got Christian Barmore. At 53, I got Asante Samuel. I don't know if he lasts that long. I got Dwayne Eskridge at 85. I got an offensive tackle at 100 who could be a potential starter. And then I got a pass rusher at 126. So I kind of like where I'm going with that. I really do. And so now we're into round 5. And, we're in round 5. And yeah, give me a second. But we're in round 5 right now. Right now, we're getting ready to pick at 166. We're at pick 157. Now, I do see a couple of interesting picks on the board that are possibilities if they don't get picked up already. Wow, Zach Davis in a Central Missouri goes early. I wasn't expecting that one. And now we're up again. And I find this interesting. Now, I just went pass rusher in round 4. Now, I thought about picking Chuba Hubbard to go behind Derrick Henry, but that would be a luxury pick, one that we probably don't need to make. And because, we got to see what Darrington Evans is. We got to see what Darrington Evans is about. But if you look at some other guys that are available, Rashad Weaver is a guy that I like. Jonathan Cooper is out there. You got a Tennessee guy. You got Anthony Schwartz, Josh Palmer at receiver, and things like that. So there are some decent players out there that we could take a look at. Again, I do need a tight end, but tight end is just not in the cards right now. You got to look at best player available, and you got to look at value. You got to look at getting good value for where you're picking. If you're getting a guy that's ranked higher than where you're drafting, so if I'm getting the 151st ranked player at 166, I got a little bit of value there, which is why, and we can never have enough pass rushers. We cannot have enough pass rushers. So that is why I'm going Rashad Weaver from Pittsburgh in the 5th round. I'm like, look, we need more pass rushers. We really do. We definitely could use pass rush. I don't see why we can't. Now, Pierce said we could be losing both of our starting linebackers. That's Rashawn Evans and Jayon Brown. I think if Jayon Brown does well and stays healthy, I think he gets extended much longer. Deo says Deo is 6'6", 280, runs a 4.8 40. Not bad. Let's see. Phillips said we need another playmaker at wide receiver. If Marquez Stevens is still available, let's take a look. We'll see if he's still available right now. We're in the 5th round, so I'm trying to look at seeing who's available at wide receiver. I think Schwartz is going to be gone. Cornell Powell is still there. Felton is still there. Jalen Darden is still there. I'm trying to find Stevenson for you. I think he may already be gone. I think. Yeah, I think Stevenson is gone. Yeah, I think Stevenson is already gone at wide receiver. Or he might be a running back because he also played running back as well. So you got to think about that too. And now we're at pick 205. What should I do? Now, could I go wide receiver here again? We still need another one. And what do you know? Look who's at the top of the board. Cornell Powell from Clemson. I'm taking him. I know we could have went corner right there, but I just think Cornell Powell, for the value that we got, for the value right there, I like to pick at Cornell Powell in, what was that? The 6th round. And now I'm about to pick again in just a couple of picks. So we'll see who's left. I could have waited for Jalen Darden because I like him. I definitely like him. So now we're at 215. I've already picked up a wide receiver. Right now, this is a crapshoot with a lot of these guys. So really, at this point, it really doesn't matter who you draft. You're just hoping you get a player that can produce. Now let's see. There's Avery Williamson, a cornerback from Boise State. Now, I'm probably going to be making a mistake, at least making this particular pick. I mean, we did draft a corner earlier in Asante Samuel. You know, you could draft another, and Tay Gowan is right there as well. At tight end, we're at 204. Like right now, tight end is probably looking like undrafted free agent, in my honest opinion. I've already picked a couple of pass rushers. I've picked a couple of wide receivers. I could look at a linebacker because there's KJ Britt right there. Maybe if he's there in the 7th round, I could take him. Now, of course, I could look interior offensive line. Not really much there. So I think at this point, I'm going to go best player available at a position that could be helpful to us. And I'm going to go corner. I'm going to go Avery Williamson, corner from from Boise State. Because right now, this is a crapshoot. You're just looking to get players who you hope can make the team. Who you can make the team, maybe help on special teams or something like that. That's what you're looking for now. You're not really looking at, oh my God, somebody that could be a starter. Now, yes, nose tackle is definitely a need. It could definitely be a need, but in all honesty, there really wasn't anybody there worth taking. You know, I mean, here's a couple of guys, but a lot of these guys will probably be undrafted on this board. And now I believe I am on my I think I have a 7th round pick. No, this is round 7. So this is my very last pick of this draft. My very last pick. I could go just about anywhere. Still plenty of wide receivers on the board. I've went corner already. Another offensive lineman is still on the board now. I'm at 232. Let's see. Again, looking at a guy who maybe can help you down the road. You know, somebody that can help you down the road, somebody that can play on special teams. That's what you're looking at. You know, there's still a couple of pass rushers of value. I mean, there's still some wide receivers of value. You know, there's a linebacker here that I kind of like. The one out of Auburn, I definitely like him. Noah Gray at tight end. I can see that. Excuse me. You know, we've already picked a couple of corners. We got an offensive lineman already. Now there's a possible safety. Let's see, I'm looking at interior offensive line. But you know what? I know y'all are probably going to call me crazy for this. And I want y'all to tell me what you think of my picks. Now, obviously, I do not think they don't have special teams on here. So they don't have kickers as part of this draft. We definitely could probably use a safety. We could use a tight end. Like I said, I got a couple of wide receivers already, but I do like this guy from Auburn. I think I'm gonna go with one of my peeps here. I'm gonna go KJ Britt. We'll just see if he does something. So round 7, I went KJ Britt at 7. I really could not find a safety that I wanted, and I think we're okay at safety. You got Byard, you got Hooker, you got Crookshank. And I believe you had Damon Webb, who was on the practice squad. So I think we're pretty good at safety right now, although safety could be a position that we look at late in the draft. So again, I tell you, I'm not an expert at all when it comes to this. I just try. That's all I could do. But Lee said KJ Britt. I kind of like that pick. I couldn't find a safety at all that was really worth the pick, to be perfectly honest. I couldn't find a nose tackle worth the pick because some of the nose tackles went a little sooner. If I didn't go with Christian Barmore, I probably would have picked a nose tackle at some point. But that's why I got Barmore, because you could put Barmore in the middle. You could put Simmons in the middle. You could put Autry in the middle. So you really could go, you could interchange all of those guys. But that is my Tennessee Titans 6.0 mock draft. Tell me what y'all think. What kind of grade do you give me for the draft that I just did? So once again, here are my picks. And I'm going to zoom it up a bit so y'all can see it a little bit better. So there it is. Here are my picks. I didn't do any trades. At 22, I went Christian Barmore. I just couldn't pass him up. I think he's too talented and is a good pass rusher. At 53, Asante Samuel, again, I thought was too good to pass up. I could have went offensive tackle at that position and maybe went corner later. In round 3, Dwayne Eskridge, again, was one of the best players available. The speed, I love it. And I just think he'll blow by some people. Hopefully he can stay healthy. At 100, I got our starting right tackle in, I like the name, Stone Forsyth. He could be a stone wall on the right side of that offensive line. In round 4, I go local. Dale Adeyingbo out of Vanderbilt. Probably an underrated pass rusher. We're definitely going to see what he looks like. And then I decided to double dip with pass rusher and go Rashad Weaver in the 5th round. I thought the value was too good there. In round 6, I decided to double dip at wide receiver. I got Dwayne Estridge. I got Cornell Powell, who could eventually play outside if Josh Reynolds doesn't pan out, or if something happens to A.J. Brown, you put Cornell Powell in there, you're pretty good. It gives some depth. At 215, you can never have enough corners. Avery Williams out of Boise State at corner. And then my last pick, just for some depth to help on special teams, KJ Britt. He could be a replacement for Rashaan Evans at some point. So that is my draft. What did y'all think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Leave me your comments. Yeah, getting spit on my mic. That's not good. Give me your comments. What did you think of my mock draft? Michael Rossi says B+ overall. I appreciate that. You know, definitely want to get an A, but I'll take the B+. I'm down for that. I think, kicker, I think we could get undrafted. I really do with that. So leave in your comments. Let me know what you think of my mock draft. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know what you think. But before we do get out of here tonight, I normally save this particular segment until the end of the month, but I have to do it because I saw this. I saw this particular mock draft and I wanted to go off. And so I have a shut your pie hole moment. And the shut your pie hole moment for today, obviously Philip Maddox says C+, didn't like the tackle. Everything else was solid. I mean, again, I probably could have went Liam Eichenberg in round 2. I probably might live to regret that move. I really was thinking about that as far as going tackle. I mean, Eichenberg, Redundant were all there. I probably should have took them. But, Philip, we were kind of on the same page on that. But my shut your pie hole moment goes to Peter Schrager of the NFL Network of Good Morning Football. And this is why. Peter Schrager came out with a mock draft a couple of days ago, and I just saw it today. Obviously, I'm like, come on, Pete Schrager. And the reason why I say this is because I'm disappointed in him, because as much as Good Morning Football talks about the Tennessee Titans on that show, he goes with the 22nd pick of his mock draft. He picked Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I know I didn't get his name right, but he went with J.O.K., the linebacker from Notre Dame, saying, well, J-Rob values character. And you're right, he does. But we don't need a linebacker, a middle linebacker at 22. Jayon Brown re-signed. You got Rashaan Evans for the time being. You got David Long behind him. If we got to sign back Will Compton, we got him. We didn't need a linebacker at 22. When Caleb Farley was on the board, when Kadarius Toney was on the board. So I really didn't like some of the picks that he made in that mock draft, but putting a middle linebacker at 22 to the Titans, I'm like, Pete, you let me down. You let me down big time. So for that, Pete Schrager, shut your pie hole, my friend. Just shut it. Don't do no more mock drafts, okay? That's all I got to say about that. But that's going to just about do it, y'all. I think we had a very good show. I thank y'all for tuning in to Titans of Truth. I'm going to read one more comment before we get out of here. Again, make sure y'all share this show out. Make sure you pass this on to your friends and on to other football fans as well. You know, I definitely think we're going to have a lot of fun next week because next week, what's going to happen? We're going to have a live 3-round mock draft. We're going to have a live 3-round. I'm debating if it's going to be 2 or 3 rounds, and I do every pick. So I think we're going to do 3 rounds. I think we're just going to have some fun. We're going to make it last quite a bit. We're going to have it's going to be a little bit long of a show, but we're just going to have fun. We're just going to go straight into a 3-round mock draft. And we'll see what we think. Antonio says, A-. Okay, that's what's up. Thank you for that. Daryl says B. Michael says, appreciate the content. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. But next Wednesday, we're going to do a live 3-round mock draft the night before the draft. And then on Thursday night, there will be a live stream. I will give you my reactions to every pick that we get for all 32 NFL teams. I'm going to have Let's Tighten Up podcast. I'm going to try to get those guys to join me. Lee Hillis is going to join me. I'm also going to have some other special guests come on board for a bit and give their thoughts on the draft as well. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to have a little bit of fun. I may try to see if I can get some guys from other teams maybe to come on as well. I may see about getting Ravens Flock and Culture Shock from the Colts to come on as well. So be on the lookout for that. Get ready for that. We're going to have it's going to be a brand new look as well. So get ready for that. We're going to have some fun. I'm excited about this. I hope y'all are excited too. Get ready for a wild ride. Again, next Wednesday, a live 3-round mock draft, going through all the picks before the draft. And then Thursday and Friday night, we will have live draft coverage. Thursday and Friday night, starting at about 6:45 each night, getting ready for the NFL draft Thursday and Friday. I will not do one on Saturday. I will have a recap. I will probably do a recap and have that out probably Sunday or Monday of next week. I will do a Truth League report where I do talk about a recap of the draft. So definitely look forward to that. Thank y'all again for tuning in to Titans and Truth. Philip says, got my medication on deck, blood pressure medication on deck if they go O-line at 22. Again, the only lineman I would pick is Telvin Jenkins. That's it. Because he's nasty. Other than that, I wouldn't pick nobody else. And I'll have my medicine ready too, because I'll be ready to go off if they make the wrong pick. But thank y'all for tuning in to Titans and Truth. I'm your man, Chris, a.k.a. Blue Enforcer. And as I always say in closing, y'all know me. If we do nothing else, we got to tighten up.
UFC Championship 2020. 1988. You did it again, man.
Good night, y'all. Have a good night. Go enjoy yourself.